Hi, Alberto. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Remy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Well, I want to thank you for so much for coming to my channel today. We'll be talking about how you have excelled in passing level 1 and level 2 with the CFA designation, in pursuing the CFA designation. But before we start, I want to ask you if you can present yourself.
Yes, so my name is Alberto Viel, and I currently live in Dubai. And as Remy has mentioned, I studied for level 1, level 2, and I'm currently studying for level 3. And I began my CFA journey in April 2024, and I took the level 1 exam in February of 2025 and level 2 in November 2025 as well. And obviously I got my result for level 2 in literally 2 weeks ago. So it's very fresh, and obviously onwards to level 3.
Nice. And how does it feel, that you passed level 2, which is probably one of the hardest one?
Yeah, many people say level 2 is the hardest, so it's good to get that one out the way and just focus on one more exam left. That's it's a really good achievement. I'm very proud of myself, and
as you should.
I look forward to seeing what level 3 has in store.
So now you're a level 3 candidate, and I do want to ask you a little bit about what your day-to-day look like when you study preparing for the CFA level 1 exam as well as CFA level 2 exam, and if there are any particular differences in terms of the preparation.
Sure. So for level 1, I was predominantly working as well as studying for the exam. So I'll be working obviously Monday to Friday, and then when I come home at about maybe 6:30, 7, I would relax until about maybe 8, and then I get in at least 2 hours of studying every day, Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday would be at least 6 hours every one of the 2 days. So in total, you're thinking around 22 to 25 hours at most per week. So it's hard, when you're working as well, but I mean, once you have a schedule going, then it really makes it a lot easier for sure. And level 2 was very, very similar to that as well. Towards the final few months leading up to the exam for level 2, I had actually left my job for other reasons. So that thankfully gave me some more time to study. So yeah, I mean, the most important thing is having a schedule to kind of keep you accountable for the hours that you're logging in.
And for the preparation, how early did you start? In terms of did you give yourself 6 months? Did you give yourself 9 months? How did you manage that?
I gave myself, I wanted to say at least 6 months for preparation. So I remember, as I said previously, I began my journey in April, but when I really began studying, it was around kind of mid-May, towards end of May time. So for an exam that was in February, so that's about around 7 months if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I think the earlier you start, the better. The more time you have is obviously better. So you can be better prepared. You can anticipate any potential curveball questions that they might throw at you. So definitely for any candidates out there who are looking to do either one of the levels right now, definitely start as early as possible for sure.
I think that's one of the most common tips that people who have the CFA designation give. The earlier you start, the better it is, the higher are the chances of you passing the exam. It's also one of the tips I always share, because a little bit like you, I would start quite early when it came to studying, and I think it's a great tip.
So you've done minimum 6 months for each level, right?
For me, it was a little bit different, because I had to basically prepare for my exam during the COVID time. And so it wasn't even 6 months, it was a bit more than that, because they had to postpone my exam because of the COVID situation, and trying to figure out how to arrange that, because I wrote level 2 in 2021, even though I was initially supposed to write in 2020, and so they kept postponing it. So I had a bit more than that, but I typically gave myself 9 months of preparation. And back when I was taking it, it was given like once a year rather than like multiple times during the year. So it changed a little bit. And when I wrote level 3, that's when I was like already like part of the I would say like that's when they made the changes with the program where they were giving all the exam they were offered more than one time during the year.
And you did very well, because during COVID time, it was some of the lowest pass rates we've ever seen, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
But I was like, I don't understand, because I was thinking, like you're at home, you do have time to study. Like I was thinking that, like the passing rate would be higher, but I was quite surprised, honestly. I was very, very surprised.
I guess some people maybe lose track of they think it's very far away. I don't need to think about it now, but I think that's the complete wrong mindset to have. So.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, it was mentally exhausting, because I remember preparing for level 2 and thinking, okay, probably I have to give the exam, in December, but then at last minute they would change the plan and be like, oh, we had to postpone the exam. So it was really exhausting, because I didn't know when exactly I had to write the exam.
But you wanted to be prepared for the earliest date as possible, I'm guessing.
That's it, exactly. So yeah. And what stood out to me when I was like reading about your profile was how you passed level 1 and level 2 on the first shot. And I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think was the success factor in that? Like, what really helped you to, to really pass the exam on the first shot? Because it's not something that everyone is able to do usually.
Mm-hmm. I think, as I mentioned earlier, having a schedule that keeps you accountable, and also what helped for me, particularly level 1, is kind of maintaining a log of my hours, so I could tell myself if I'm doing less hours on a certain week, then next week I have to make up for it. And in addition to that, also I think what really helped as well for me was taking external prep providers. For example, for level 1, I had used Mark Meldrum, which I believe is quite a popular prep provider. And for level 2, I actually switched to Kaplan Schwezer. And I think these prep providers, they simplify the material in a way that's easier to understand than you would see in the CFA Institute books, which, don't get me wrong, are a great tool as well. But sometimes they can maybe be a little bit dry sometimes. So I think supplementing the Institute materials with a third-party prep provider is a great recipe for success, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch the videos from Mark Meldrum, or did you just use like some of his like actual materials?
No, I use his videos. His videos are very, very detailed, very concise, and he explains things very, very well. And I was fortunate enough to purchase the package where you can have the kind of office hours, where you can ask any of the instructors questions, and they give you feedback quite quickly. So if anything that's there, you can make sure that you understand it very well.
Yeah. And did you find yourself pretty good with the materials from Schwezer?
I did. To be honest, I think I've enjoyed them more than the Mark Meldrum materials. That's to say, Mark Meldrum is still a very good prep provider, but I think Kaplan gives you more. I wouldn't say it's as detailed as Mark Meldrum, but there's more resources. I think the notes are better laid out, I think, if that makes sense as well. So both very good experiences with both prep providers.
And for people who are taking either level 1 or level 2, like, what would you say it's the biggest shift? Because level 1, it's more multiple choice questions, and level 2 is also multiple choice questions, but you do have like vignette. What was your strategy when it came to like, adapting to level 2 like format?
Yeah, I think as many people would say, it's practice. Practice really makes perfect. Do those vignette questions as much as you can, and it'll make you remember the concept and remember the way how to solve vignettes as well. So I think practice is crucial. And in terms of material, level 2 is definitely a lot wider than level 1 is. The breadth is huge for level 2, as you remember as well. So making sure that you understand the topics is crucial. you can't have a surface, you can't expect to pass with a surface level understanding, in my opinion at least. You really need to understand things well, because the examiners, they could throw a curveball which you're not prepared. So you need to be sure that you understand the material in any ways they present it.
Mm-hmm. And for level 2, as you mentioned, like you have to go much deeper. Did you put more hours compared to level 1 or not? Because one thing that I heard from a lot of people is that people typically use the same strategy for level 2 as they did for level 1, but sometimes they realize that that's not enough. So for you, what was it like? Like, did you put more hours?
I would say I did. I think I did. I didn't really take a log of my hours for level 2, but I definitely felt like I needed to put more hours in for sure, because I was told by many people level 2 is a beast. It's really something that you need to tackle full on, and for that reason I really dedicated much more time to it, and not only in terms of studying material, but also also practice questions as well, doing more practice questions to familiarize yourself with a new concept with a new exam format which you're not used to at level 1. So yeah, both in terms of actually revising the concepts as well as the pen to paper work it was a big change from level 1, you could say. Sure.
Mm-hmm. What I find interesting about this conversation is that you mentioned how you put you used to keep track of your hours. So I tried to do that, but I found it quite useless, because I was like I can put 10 hours, but if I don't understand something, it's like the 10 hours mean nothing. So I stopped doing that. Like at the beginning, I used to have a spreadsheet and put down how many hours I was studying, but I was like, it's not about the hours. For me, it was really about the quality of my study and making sure that I was understanding. So at the end of the day, even for level 2, I can give you a rough estimate of how many hours I put, and there were a lot of hours, but it's not that I was trying to meet the target of what the CFA Institute was suggesting, which was, I think, 300 hours or 350, because I don't think, I don't know what the number is based on, and I don't think that's the way to personally go when it comes to studying. What do you think?
So yeah, it goes back to the the debates whether quantity or quality, and in this case I think obviously quality is better than quantity. Obviously if you do 10 hours but you only study hard for 1 hour, that's not very efficient use of your time, for sure. But that being said, what I found very useful is that even though I wasn't productive in 100% of the hours, which is quite impossible to be, I found that at least getting the hours down was psychologically bringing me closer to my goal. Knowing that I'm close, I'm reaching something a goal that's recommended by the Institute of, as we mentioned, 300 or 350 hours. I'm not too sure. So it's kind of like, I guess you could say, reaching a milestone. Once you reach 100 hours, you say, oh, I'm getting there, 200 hours, I'm nearly there, So I think that's my way of looking at it.
Yeah, I guess you use that to make yourself accountable.
Exactly.
I guess, exactly. Yeah.
But, the important thing is, to make sure you put the hours in. For level 1, I think I clocked in about 550 hours. And okay. For level 2, I would say minimum 600 to 650, somewhere in that range.
Mm-hmm. Which is double of what they recommend.
Yeah, and I'm pleased to have passed quite comfortably as well. So
good, very good. So as we're approaching the end of this conversation, for anyone who's doing level 1 or level 2, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them besides what you have already said? Or maybe you can just repeat what you said if you feel like that's important to re-mention.
Certainly. So I think focus on the higher weighted topics for sure. For example, in level 1, that would be FSA is a big one. Equity and fixed income are also big ones. So I would say if you don't really know where to start in terms of your prep, start with the highest weighted ones out the way and get them out the way first. In terms of kind of an overall tip I could give is, yeah, as I mentioned before, start early. The more time you have, the more comfortable you will feel. And also, if you have the funds as well, purchase a third-party prep provider. It really helps as well in order to simplify the material, and as well it gives you a question bank of hundreds of questions as well, which, as I mentioned before, practice will make nearly perfect.
Definitely. And out of curiosity, where do you see yourself with the CFA designation eventually? Like, what is your end goal?
So the goal, obviously, the imminent goal would be to, once I pass the level 3 exam, would be to obtain the necessary amount of hours of work experience, and then from then on, the goal would be to work in fund management. So maybe start off in wealth management, and kind of later down the line, maybe go into portfolio management. So that's where I see myself going. And funny enough, I've actually chosen portfolio management pathway for level 3 as well. So I've kind of set my sights on that, and yeah, that's the goal for sure.
Well, very good. Good luck on that. So, Alberto, thank you so much for coming today. Before I let you go, do you want to tell us how people can connect with you?
Sure. So my LinkedIn is just my name, Alberto Viel, and I'm also on Instagram. If you'd like to follow me there, it would be alberto.viel. So those are my 2 social media links.
Super. Thank you so much for coming today and having this great conversation.
Thank you very much.